it's not getting any better. Welcome to the 24-hour readathon. I wouldn't say I'm very excited to do this because I'm kind of dreading it, because the whole reason I'm doing this is my screen time has been at least 11 hours this entire past week. What am I doing? What am I doing on my phone for 11 hours a day? And then I go and complain about how few books I've read this year. Like, oh my gosh, it's horrible. The goal for today is to read at least 4 books, because Goodreads says I'm 4 books behind on my reading schedule, so that's like 1 book every 6 hours. Here are the books that are on my TBR, and honestly there's a couple more too that are on my Kindle, or I ordered Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I really want to read that, but it's not coming in until later today, but that could be a possibility. But for now, here is the stack. First book I want to read is Swimming in the Dark. So I picked this book because lately I've just been craving Call Me By Your Name, this book right here. Like, I either wanted to reread it or read a book similar to it that had the same vibe, same writing. And so I searched up recommendations based on this, and here is where I found Swimming in the Dark. It is currently 3 p.m. and that sounds late in the day, but I didn't wake up until 1 p.m. So with the whole 24-hour timer thing, no matter what, I'm going to be reading for 24 hours, but that doesn't necessarily mean 24 hours straight. So anytime I am not reading a book, the timer is being paused. Anyways, that was a lot of talking I just did. I think I'm stalling, but yeah, let's just get into this challenge and begin the 24 hours of doom and despair. So it's officially been an hour, and I would say that hour went by really quickly. How has it already been an hour? I don't know. But I just got to chapter 4 of Swimming in the Dark, page 67. This book, oh my gosh, it's exactly like how I needed it to be, or how I wanted it to be. It's just so beautiful. So basically, we are following our main character who's kind of writing down the story of his life to give it to his past lover that he's writing the story about. So basically, it's a coming of age story set in communist Poland during the 1980s. And there's just a lot of depth that comes with that. Obviously, the characters have differing beliefs on politics and what they want to see, or what their version of freedom is. And then the internalized struggle of being gay in communist Poland in the 1980s. He uses so many similes and metaphors, I swear it's every other sentence, and they're all so unique but beautiful, and I'm just how did you even think of this, and how did you manage to capture this perfectly? On the very first page, there are some that stuck out to me. What I am certain of is this: my body feels depleted, like a foreign country after a war. Some things cannot be erased through silence. Some people have that power over you, whether you like it or not. I begin to see that now. Some people, some events, make you lose your head. They're like guillotines, cutting your life in two. The dead and the alive, the before and the after. Bro, what the heck, how? But yeah, let's get back to reading and resume the timer. Swimming in the Dark has been completed. It took me 2 hours and 20 minutes to complete, which means I do still have 21 hours and 41 minutes left on the timer. So yes, and unfortunately, I do hate to say this, but it is much later. So now it is 7:45 p.m. But just know, although I am gonna save my full review of the books I read in this 24 hours until the very end of the challenge, I did rate this book very highly, possibly even a 5 stars. Who said that? Who said that? Sadly, Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid still hasn't gotten to my house. I thought for sure by the time I finished Swimming in the Dark it would be here, but it is still not. So I either have Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wong or Deep Cuts. This is another literary fiction, I believe, and this is a fantasy. And I read Emma Wong's other book, The Sword of Kaigen. That book, I read it so long ago now, and it still hurts my heart to think about it. I love that book so much. It made me sob. It made me physically sick. Emma Wong has definitely left quite an impression on me, so I am kind of like, I do want to read another book by her, but this is also like a really big fantasy. Ooh. I have to do this one. I love Emma Wong. Like, ugh, okay, yeah. So I'm gonna read Blood Over Bright Haven. Was it even a question? Probably not. Wait, is the... Ooh, look at that map. 21 hours. Resumed. I have finally made it into the teens, so I have 19 hours and 32 minutes left of this challenge, which means it's been just over 2 hours since I last spoke to you and since I started Blood Over Bright Haven. So I'm on page 133, I believe, which means I am reading about a page a minute, which is what I expected, but that does mean it's going to take me a bit longer than I initially anticipated to finish this read, but I think even if this takes longer to read, I'll still be on time to reach my goal because swimming in the dark took a lot less time than I anticipated. But let me tell you about this book because so far I am just in awe at how creative M.L. Wong is. How do writers come up with such unique and unbelievable storylines? It's so good. Like the magic, the world, but it's kind of mixing like steampunk, is that what it's called? Basically the world is very like high tech, but like in terms of steel and machinery. The world they're living in is surrounded by a huge kind of like energy barrier to block out the negative forces outside of where they live, because outside of where they live there's this thing called the blight, which targets anything that gets outside this magic barrier and basically just dismantles you as a person. No one knows what exactly it is, but it's kind of like been an overarching issue for hundreds of years since this thing has been created. But in this book we're following our main character, who's the first ever female high mage to ever exist, and she is very driven by power. Her mission is to expand this energy barrier that's around Bright Haven. Is that what the place is called? Loki? I have no clue. But instead of doing that for the good of people and kind of wanting to create the best work for the sake of the people, she wants to create the best work for the sake of her legacy. There's a lot of history there, so they're now working together. It's great. I love it. They all have their own motivations. They're all determined, and I love these character dynamics. But yeah, 19 hours and 32 minutes left. How do I still have so much time? I don't understand. Where is the resume? Welcome. It is a lot later. It's 1 a.m. now. We have 17 hours and 49 minutes left in this challenge, which means... Hold on a second. Okay, here's the book. Which means it's been almost exactly 4 hours since I started Blood Over Bright Haven, and I'm only halfway through. Low-key, I thought I'd be like almost done with it by now, but that's okay, it's okay. Because it's really good, and I'm enjoying it, and it doesn't feel like it's been 4 hours since I started reading this, which is a good sign, I guess. But I'm not really tired right now, obviously, because like I said at the very start of this video, I woke up at 1 p.m. today. Yeah, I don't know how that's possible, but anyways, so I'm not tired, obviously, because I barely woke up. So I don't know if I should just read for like another hour until 2 a.m. and then go to bed and wake up at like 8 a.m. to continue reading, or if I should just low-key try to do the full 24 hours and just keep reading until tomorrow. But also, I feel like if I try to do that, I'm going to end up falling asleep at like 5 a.m. and then not waking up until like 8 p.m. and then my sleep schedule is going to be even more ruined. So I think the easiest course of action for now is to read this book for another hour, and then I'll check back in at 2 a.m. and I'll let you know what I'm gonna do. Currently on chapter 14, page, I don't know, but I'm halfway through, and I'll update you at 2 a.m. I just got to chapter 18 and it's now 2:06 a.m. so I'm on page 310, which is actually pretty good, but I am gonna go to sleep, I think, because I don't know, I just gotta go to sleep. It's for the best, and it'll let me read more books tomorrow because I'll have a fresh brain, hopefully. But so far this book, it's really good. But as of right now, the main character is infuriating me. Oh my gosh, I used to love her a lot, but lately she's acting very naive. And I feel like obviously I know like whatever she's planning or plotting is like, it's gonna work out, or it has to work out for her because obviously she's the main character, but it's not realistic. Like the other main character in this book, so we have Siona, and then we have Tommel. As of right now, I'm on Tommel's side. He's like, girl, they're obviously blah 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 blah. And then she's like, but no, because blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It feels unrealistic to who she's been as a person this whole entire book. She's supposed to be this like super smart, logical person, and right now, I feel like she's not thinking logical at all. Like 2 seconds ago you weren't even aware of this, and now all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh. Okay, I can't really say anything because obviously no matter what I say it's gonna be a spoiler, but you can tell I'm pretty frustrated with her right now, and yeah, I just don't see how this is gonna end well for her. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna go to sleep and I'll wake up and I'll continue this 24 hours of reading. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow morning. Goodbye. Hello and welcome to the next day of our 24-hour readathon. So I have just been reading all morning and I officially finished Blood Over Brighthaven, and we now have 15 hours and 18 minutes left of this challenge, which means this book took me 6 hours and 22 minutes to complete. The only thing I'm gonna say regarding our review on this book for now is I truly don't think this book can even compare to The Sword of Kaigen. I think The Sword of Kaigen was so much better, unfortunately, but this one was still good. However, it didn't feel like Sword of Kaigen for me is a 6 stars, and this book is like probably a solid 4. But another highly anticipated read finally arrived, aka Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and let me tell you, I have been wanting to read this book the second I found out what it's about. A woman in the 80s who gets like the first female position to go to space at NASA. Yeah, to join NASA's space shuttle program, and oh my gosh, I'm excited to read this one. I love space, I love rockets, I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love all her characters. They're so complex and smart and beautifully written. I'm just really excited, but I hope I'm not let down. I don't know, like I have really high hopes going into this book, but I feel like it has a lot of potential to be exactly what I want it to be. We definitely still have a lot of time. Bro, we're not even halfway through this challenge, what the heck? But yeah, I'm about to go get a coffee from, I think, Dunkin' Donuts. I'm gonna switch it up, you know, but then I'm gonna come back and of course resume the timer and get into this book. hate it. I hate it. I hate everything. And I want to hold your hand in a quiet corner, and I want to lie in bed and hear your heartbeat through your chest. I want to bring you coffee in bed, and I want to hear you tell me anything you've always wanted to tell someone, because you know that you've met someone who desperately wants to listen. Kill me now. Kill me now. Hold on, there's more. This one gets me. Ready? Don't kill my dream. Let the world be as I see it for just tonight, without too many gray areas and caveats, where I know I'm mortal, but I'm not sure that you're not a god. Yeah, this book is gonna be the end of me. It's gonna be the death of me, yeah. It's not getting any better. Oh my god. I would give you anything if it wasn't going to cost us everything. I would never ask it, John said, which is how I know that you'd be worth giving it to. Shut up! Shut up! Oh my god, I'm going to jump off a building. Actually, yeah. Okay, so a little bit about this book. The main character's name is Joan Goodwin, and the story keeps jumping from December 29th, 1984 to start of the story, I guess, leading up to that. So it truly starts in 1980, I believe, as Joan enters this program to eventually go up into space, become this like renowned astronaut and all that stuff. But basically in the 1984 timeline, for the shuttle that's about to go into space, she is the Capcom, so I think that's the right term. So basically she is the one communicating directly with the astronauts inside the space shuttle, and a tragedy happens, unfortunately, in that shuttle. So the love of her life and like all her best friends are up there. But then it jumps to the 1980 timeline until we eventually creep closer and closer to the date of that tragedy, I guess I'll call it. And I don't like how close we are to it. Yeah, I'm really afraid. Anyways, I'm really wanting to finish this book tonight. I have like a little bit less than 100 pages left, and it is 1 a.m. so who knows how long that'll take, but as you can see back here, I have 11 hours left on the timer, so I got plenty of time. Well, I finished Atmosphere, if you couldn't tell, yeah. How do you ever read a book after this ever again? This is undeniably like a 6-star read. I didn't think I would be annotating it at all. Like, I don't annotate books. Like, I'm not that kind of person, except when it calls for annotation, it calls for annotation, and this book definitely did. Anyways, it took me 5 hours and 6 minutes to read this book, and it is now 2 a.m. So, I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits for the night, because I don't think I could physically read another book after this one. 10 hours left on the challenge. I'll try to finish that tomorrow, but also I do have stuff to do tomorrow. Hey, I'm technically still sticking to what I said in the beginning of this video. I told you it wasn't gonna be 24 hours straight. I'm just seeing how many books I can read in 24 hours, as in when this timer is going. Yeah, okay. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, what's up? So basically, it has been a long time since I last sat down to film this video, and it's been so long that I don't even want to tell you how long it's been, so I'm just not going to tell you. You can figure it out on your own if you really want to, if you want to get into those investigative skills. But anyways, I did say initially that I was only counting the hours I was reading as the 24 hours, and I promise you, no matter how long it's been, I have read nothing. Anyways, we're gonna hop right back into this challenge, pretend this time jump didn't even happen, and we're going to resume by reading The Poppy War. So if you know me, if if you've watched any of my videos at all, there's like a good chance you've heard me talk about this book. This book is one of my favorite books of all time. In fact, I have 2 copies sitting right next to my bedside at all times, and this one I even spent $50 on, and this one is annotated. So yeah, I've clearly read this book before, but despite loving the Poppy War series so much, I have not read the last book in the series. Is it called The Burning God, I think? But yeah, I've not read it because I was spoiled the ending, and yeah, if you know, you know. But I actually do want to read that book now, so I decided this is the perfect excuse to reread The Poppy War. So I am gonna be starting from chapter... Okay, yeah, I'm starting from chapter 20, just because I've already like reread this book until a certain point so many times that all I really need is refresh of like the very ending. So it might sound weird, but that's where I'm starting. So chapter 20, page no clue. I actually do have the audiobook for this. It's crazy. I got the whole 3 books was worth 1 credit. That is insane. So obviously I had to get it, duh. So yeah, I'm going to be probably listening to the audiobook primarily because I'm gonna be honest, because I want to play Roblox, but I also want to like be reading or doing something productive. So yeah, I do still have 10 hours, 13 minutes, and 16 seconds left of this 24 hours. So it's kind of crazy that I'm only like just barely halfway through. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to just get to reading this book. I kind of want to finish it today because I'm going on a road trip tomorrow, and I want to be able to pick up a new book for that. But yeah, that's the goal for today. I don't know how long it'll take me. Probably at least a couple of hours. I don't know, I might be underestimating it, but yeah, let's just get straight into reading The Poppy War and continuing with this 24 hours. I love reading this book knowing what happens because, bro, R.F. Kuang, she is not subtle about her freaking foreshadowing. Holy. Rereading this book in particular, it's like, it's a whole different experience entirely, and it's just like somehow even better than the first read because you just know. Ugh. Oh my gosh. I just burnt a dish so bad. Bro, literally, you see that in the background? Don't mess with me in Restaurant Tycoon 3. Like, bro. I just started a new restaurant, but anyways, that's besides the point. The point is, it's been like 2 hours. You now have 8 hours and 10 minutes left of the 24 hours, which is pretty good. Like, okay. I just got to chapter 25 of The Poppy War, and I think there's only 26 chapters, so I'm so close to the ending. Let's see what page I'm on. So I just got to page 493. Like, I have nothing left at all. This book was popular on Book Talk in like 2021, around when it was like the series was first completed, and I see some of my favorite content creators like having this on their shelves, and then they've just like never read it, and I'm just like, it's so frustrating because it's just such a good book, but also like I can't really be mad that they haven't read it because like the subject matter in this book is very dark. Like, it is an adult fantasy discussing themes of like war crimes, torture. Like, it's horrible. The content in this book is truly like horrific, and it does make you like physically like sick at times. You read this and you're like, oh my god. But it's just realistic. I'm gonna be so for real. Some of the scenes in this book are based off of true war crimes and history. But man, oh my gosh, I just wish more people would read this. Like, I feel like I don't see many people reading this book, and it's like such a shame because ever since I read this, how many years ago? Like 4 years ago now, I've thought about it. I'm not even gonna like lie, like pretty much every single day. But yeah, it's now like 6 o'clock, so I'm gonna eat dinner and then I'll get back to reading, or I guess listening to the book, and I will most definitely finish this today. And then I don't really know what to start after this, I guess you'll see. But yeah, that's just my update for now. Hello, it is officially later and I've finished The Poppy War. We now have 7 hours and 32 minutes left on the timer. Also, this book is officially the 4th book I've finished in the 24 hours. I mean, I didn't read the full thing, so it doesn't like actually count, but it counts like towards my Goodreads goal. However, I am now more than 4 books behind. So I'm just gonna keep on trying to read as many books as I can, and we'll see how many I can actually get finished. So the next 2 possible reads we have are Captive Prince and The Burning God, the 2nd book in the Poppy War series. And what I think I'm gonna do is listen to this one primarily through audiobook and then physically read this one because I don't have it on audiobook. But also, I've been seeing this one everywhere on TikTok and I feel like I would like it so much, and I was pretty like hyped up whenever I bought it. But now it's kind of like just been sitting on my shelves and I don't want to read it, but also I think I'd like it. So I think the game plan is I'm going to read like a chapter or 2 of this one, and then if I'm not feeling it, I'm just gonna go ahead and switch over to the Dragon Republic and like put all my energy towards this book. That's enough said. I'm gonna go ahead and start the Captive Prince, and I'll update you on whether I like it or not in a bit. I have no clue what I'm reading. Oh my god. Am I missing something? It says this is book 1. It low-key feels like I'm reading like a 3rd grader's first Wattpad story. And why are there so many commas? Hello from the future again. So I just got back from a quick weekend trip in Austin. However, don't let that fool you. I was still reading, just like not too much. I don't know how much of like the clips I got there that I'm keeping in, so you know more than I do about what just happened. But anyways, on the trip, I did in fact finish Captive Prince, and I don't even have a rating for this book, but I'm just gonna tell you, it is nothing like what I expected. First of all, thought this was YA. No. During the first like 70% of this book, I felt like the author wrote it just to write about some certain tropes she likes. Yeah. But then it feels like she decided at the last like 30%, actually, you know what, I'm gonna make this into a fantasy series. So she started making like a bunch of like political intrigue, and that was actually very interesting, and I was actually really getting into the book. And then all of a sudden I flipped the page. I'm on page like 240. I turned the page and it says acknowledgements. I was over here thinking this book was 290 pages. Turns out 50 of those pages were in fact side stories from a random character I don't care about, so I'm not reading that. So yeah, this book ended and absolutely nothing happened in it, which is great. So great. I will go ahead and tell you I am now on book 2. because I am like low-key invested now. And I'm just gonna tell you this, the two main characters, I'm like 25% into book 2. They have not had one single positive interaction. If you think this book is like super like smutty between the two main characters, no. Yeah, no, I truly cannot see how these enemies will ever become lovers. Like, if I personally was Laurent, one of the characters in this book, I would never be able to forgive Damon, the other character. And I know there's like some things going on that like he's not aware of some things, but I'm pretty sure he is. Anyway, you have no clue what I'm talking about. But yeah, anyways. We kind of lost the plot a little bit, but back to the challenge. We now have 4 hours and 20 minutes left. I don't know how long this took me to read. I know I could figure it out if I did the math, but yeah. So that's another book done. However, it feels kind of cheaty because that was a lot shorter than I thought. But just wait for the next book. I was showing you this version of the Poppy War, right? Because it's so beautiful. Well, I go into a random Austin bookstore, and you know what I find? Oh my gosh, it's like the same version of the second book. Oh my god, sorry guys, I'm like speechless and I'm stuttering and I'm having a stroke. But look how beautiful. Oh my gosh, so this is the Dragon Republic, book 2, which I know I showed you, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and be reading that for the rest of this challenge. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for the day, and while I do that, I'm going to have the audiobook going, so that'll be fun, I suppose. If you're wondering why it looks like it's hours later, it is hours later. It is like 9, almost 10 p.m. in fact, but that was because I got distracted filming another video. I didn't even think I was gonna film, so welcome back, I guess. I was able to read for like, I would think 2 hours, and now I'm on page 165, chapter 10. I only have 2 hours and 13 minutes left of this 24 hours, which is crazy. Resume. This series is like haunting the narrative final boss. Like, there's this one character, and throughout every single aspect of every action, every decision made by either side of the battle, it's always about this one thing, this one person, and it's just like, I love it, honestly. It's great. It's great. I took my makeup off, I put my retainer in so I had the lisp, and I just got to chapter 13 of the Dragon Republic, and I only have an hour and 14 minutes left, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish that tomorrow morning. And wow, can I not wait. I just can't wait for this 24 hours to finally be over, and I'm finally free from the chains of this stupid countdown. But yeah, I'm gonna go to bed, and I will see you tomorrow to finish our 24 hours. Yay! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! Oh my gosh, finally. Bro. I never thought I would hear that alarm go off, but finally it has gone off. I just got to chapter 17, page 283 of the Dragon Republic, so I wasn't able to finish it, but I did get a pretty good chunk in. I think I was on this book for like 4 hours, so it's gonna take me another like 5 at least if I want to finish it, but that's okay. That's good because I love this book. So I guess let's finally go over the stats of this challenge. These are all the books I read in this 24 hours. Well, some of them like are short, some of them like I didn't fully read, but let's just do a recap, shall we? So I started this video with Swimming in the Dark. I think I am gonna lower the rating to a 4 stars because thinking about it, I'm like, does it compare to like the other 5-star books I read? Because it did live up to what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like a Call Me By Your Name type thing, and I think it was good, but not like as good as Call Me by Your Name. After Swimming in the Dark, I moved on to Blood Over Brighthaven, and this book also got rated a 4 stars because it was good, but I was waiting for it to be great. I'm really channeling my inner Abby Lee Miller because that's exactly how I felt with this book. I was just like waiting and waiting and waiting for it to like finally like to push past that 4 stars because I knew it could, but it kind of slowly just like went down for me. Like it went like this, it plateaued, and then it just went down like at the end, and the end didn't really affect me like it should have because by then I just kind of didn't care. So yeah, but do not fear, we followed that up with Atmosphere. Wait, did that kind of rhyme? Low-key? Okay, why am I like a rap god? Okay, anyways, we followed that up with Atmosphere, and this is of course a 6-star read. I love this book. It's really great. Of course, I annotated all my favorite parts. I really think this book should and will be made into a movie. I just feel like lots of Taylor Jenkins Reid's book have been made into movies, and this one would be perfect. So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. I'll wait. And then we have The Poppy War. So I did kind of start like halfway through this book, but you already know my rating. I gave it a 6 star. I will forever give this book a 6 stars. But this book, I read 139 pages of it, and it took me 2 hours and 40 minutes. And then I read Captive Prince, and yeah, this book, I feel like after reading the other books in the series, because yes, I've read them all now, and I love them so much. Like book 2 and book 3, I'm not even gonna lie, I gave 5 stars. Like those were bangers, like bangers. This book, I'd probably give it like a 2 star. Which is so weird. It's so weird. I wish she combined books 1 and 2 because that would have been like so doable. I mean, of course, I probably wouldn't have rated book 2 like a 5 stars because of the beginning of it, but like, I don't know. She could have like condensed this, did this, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. And then, oh my gosh, for the remaining time, I finished up our 4 hours and 20 minutes with the Dragon Republic, and I got to page 283. So if you have no idea what those stats mean, let me just put it into perspective. So I read a total of 1,602 pages in this 24 hours, and there is only 1,440 minutes in a day. So yeah, I would say this is definitely a success. I wanted to read 4 books, and technically I read 5, almost 6. This was a long challenge. I'm so glad to be finally done with it, but this really just put into perspective how much you like can actually read in 24 hours. Like you're always like, oh no, I'm so busy, like I don't have any time. But like even just like an hour, you can read so much. Yeah, that kind of makes me feel bad about like having only read like 20-ish books this year. This definitely helped me get that number up. But yeah, that is officially the end of this video. Thank you so much for sticking through to the end. If you are still here, might as well give me a like, subscribe, and comment down below any video ideas you would like to see from me in the future, any thoughts you have on any of the books I read in this video. I would love to hear from you. I love like responding to comments. That's like my favorite thing ever. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next video. Bye everyone!